A very good afternoon, amigos, from the beautiful Mexico City. Now today we're doing something quite dramatic. We're putting something huge debate to the test. Uber versus taxi. Now across probably the entire world, but here especially in Mexico and even more especially in Mexico City, there's this huge debate, Uber versus taxi, and which is better, which is cheaper, which is more comfortable, and today we are putting that to the test. Now we've heard a lot of negative things about taxis, but we decided to try it out for ourselves.
Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cuánto cuesta un taxi hasta el Zócalo?
El Zócalo, sí. Pues es lo que marca el taxímetro, son como
sí.
80 pesos más o menos.
Ah, sí, sí está bien, ok.
We are 0.6 miles away from the Zócalo.
It's like 800 meters.
16-minute drive. My grandma could walk faster. Well, maybe not Nana. She's got a bad hip and her neck hurts, but mi suegra maybe could. Oh, she's getting up there too. We have finally arrived to the Zócalo area. 42 minutes. That is how long it took to get from Coyoacán here to the Zócalo in a taxi. 42 sweaty minutes, might I add. Then we ran into a little bit of traffic, which Uber, taxi, those would all be the same.
It's Mexico City.
There's always a little bit of traffic unless you're underground in the metro. I would say comfortability, I would give a 4 out of 5. Is a tad bit sweaty. The only thing that could have made it more comfortable is the air conditioner, but estamos en Mexico, no, and we rarely have air conditioner in Ubers or taxis, or
you guys like to
that's sort
sweat.
of normal. It's a little bit warm and you guys do like to sweat. What else would you say about the taxi ride?
The driver was exceptionally friendly.
The driver was very kind, told us some museums we should visit during our time here, things like that.
He kind of made a joke about the traffic, and also I thought it was interesting, made a joke about some of the bad reputation that taxis have.
Yeah,
so
which is sort of ironic, him being a taxi driver, but I would say all in all a fairly good experience. The cost was 113 pesos. Again, he had a meter going, so the traffic sort of raised that price, but I think Uber sort of does the same thing. I think the driver took a fair route here to downtown. There was no run around the block sort of thing. Nothing, no funny business in terms of that is concerned. Now we have made it to the Zócalo. I think next time we see you, we'll be ready to catch an Uber. Okay, we have had a grand taco adventure. I think between the two of us we had 13? So a light day, if you will. You'll have to wait and see that in a future video. But on the way here to downtown, we took a taxi. Now we're planning to catch an Uber back to the Coyoacán area. But in true Mexico City fashion, we cannot catch an Uber on the same block where we got dropped off because, well, there's a protest blocking drivers from even getting to this area, so we're gonna have to go to plan B. But it wouldn't be Mexico City if everything went as planned. Know what I mean? In true Kinetic Kennons fashion, I messed up and forgot to thank our patrons of the day, Ray Cannon and Vincent Arroyo. You guys are our patrons of the day, our sponsors of this video. Thank you to you two for sponsoring this today's video, and thank you to all of our patrons and you guys for watching this. Well, quite exciting adventure, really. I'm going to call an Uber now. downside to calling an Uber is they're not quite readily available as like a taxi sitio or like site.
Yeah.
Site. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer. Timer is started.
All right.
Call an Uber. Come on. Come on. To Centro Coyoacan.
Yes.
Let's see. 154 pesos. Go ahead and confirm. 5 minutes away, connecting us to 8 different drivers. We just need one. 2 minutes away.
We have made it back to Centro Coyoacan. I really didn't get to film all that much because luckily we had an amazing driver.
We did, we lucked out 2 for 2.
And we had a great conversation pretty much the entire trip here,
Yeah.
which lasted for how long?
42 minutes. Both of our trips today were within 1 minute of each other.
Yeah, so the actual time-wise was exactly the same. I feel like we took 1 or 2 streets that that seemed a little extraneous, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Comfort-wise?
Comfort-wise, so we got in this Uber and he had the air conditioner going.
After we were talking
which
smack.
is like, whoo! Usually that's not the case, but I gotta give this one 4.5 out of 5 because he had the air conditioner
I
going.
give it 5 out of 5. You got the AC going. That's
Yeah.
5 out of 5. Price.
173 pesos. So 50 more pesos. Yeah, 50 more pesos than the cab ride earlier, which I would have lost a bet on. I always just assumed, and look, this is comparing apples to apples because the trips took within 1 minute of each other.
Same
so that's
places
crazy.
coming back. I mean,
Yeah.
plus or minus a block. Now, pros and cons of each. I want to say I was blown away by taxis. Everybody, and the only things I've ever heard or read about taxis in Mexico City are not so good. I really won't get into that because we haven't had bad experiences. So I don't want to share, or I don't want to like spread rumors basically.
Yeah.
But long story short, we hadn't heard anything good about taxis. But I had a surprisingly pleasant experience today using the taxi.
You're right. It was super easy too.
I would say a pro of a taxi is if you don't have a smartphone, like myself, long story, if you don't have a smartphone, then you can't order an Uber.
Yeah.
So taxis are easy.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes downtown in El Centro near the Zocalo, it's really difficult to get an Uber sometimes.
Yep.
I mean, like today there was a protest, there's a lot of times a protest. A lot of times my smartphone becomes a dumb phone and 3G won't really work. So that is a downfall, I think, to Ubers.
That said, I do think one reason we like using Ubers is it has enhanced transparency, if you will, in that we see our driver, we have his plates, we know his name, we send all of our information. Hillary sends it all to her family. They can track us if they want to.
You know a little bit of the price. You're given an estimated price, and I guess if traffic's crazy, that price can change. But overall, I think there's somewhat of a price transparency.
Yeah, so I don't know, what do you guys think? What do you prefer using, Uber versus taxis? And I know here in Mexico City, that's a lot different. Like in Vallarta, that's a completely different conversation. So this only really pertains to Mexico City, where there's kind of a not so great reputation with taxis. But Uber versus taxis today, who would you say won?
The Metro.
The Metro wins, amigos. 42 minutes to get downtown.
That is ridiculous.
Way too long.
173 pesos.
That's way too much. That's almost $10. The Metro takes about 15 minutes and is 5 pesos. Let us know. We want to do more videos about transportation and public transportation in Mexico and in Mexico City.
Yeah.
I don't know, Metrobus versus Metro versus Uber.
Combis.
Combis, but let us know what you think about that idea. I think that is all we have for you. Thanks again to our beautiful patrons of the day for sponsoring this traffic-filled adventure, but it was all worth it because we got to eat tacos, and you'll see those soon. And he goes, that's all we have. Until next time,
have less, do more,
be more. I do want to say 45 minutes, and it's 6 miles. If you can jog pretty fast, you could about run that.
That's a good video idea.
Now, if you are still watching this video after this long, you might be just crazy enough to like our summer plans. What are our summer plans, you might be asking? Well, actually, we don't know. We are going to leave that up to you. Our channel members here on YouTube, which is a new feature here on YouTube if you haven't seen the button down below, and our patrons will be sending us on a trip in June, July, and August. That is right, we'll be holding 3 different elections, if you will. We will be voting 3 different times this summer for 3 different trips. Now, our first trip in June, voting will start on June 1st between 7 a.m. and midnight, I believe, and you all, our patrons and our channel members, get to select anywhere, any place within Mexico, and that is where we will be going. We will link more information down below in the description, so if you've been dying for us to go to X location within Mexico, now is your chance to make it happen.